incentive is just pride, you know. So we've tried to make every day where there's winners and losers and there's consequences. So it's kind of heated up our spring practice a little bit. I think we've had really good competition within positions and offense versus defense. So it'll be another opportunity to do that. I think if you love the game of football and if you're going to be good at it, you better love it. An opportunity to go practice in front of ever how many thousand folks will be there, or to be incentive enough. You know, as far as the kicking game, you know, Marquez Callaway has done it for a couple of years and has lots of experience. We've been working Ty Chandler, Bryce Thompson, Trayvon Flowers, Jordan Murphy as other guys that have taken reps. And these guys took reps last year. It takes a guy with experience that can stand out there and catch these punts that hang up there for 5 seconds with 10 guys screaming down there on top of you in front of 100,000 folks. So we've been doing a lot of live situations trying to get these guys to where they're game ready. And, you know, we can simulate it all. We just can't simulate the 100,000 folks.
You mentioned D'Angelo and Starr. That's obviously an important position, that Starr nickel spot in your defense. What have you seen, you know, through 2/3 of spring practice from the guys that you're repping there, and who is kind of getting the looks there with Balin being limited right now?
Well, you know, we teach everything conceptually, so most every single guy in our secondary can play multiple spots. You know, for the last probably 6 or 7 practices, we've worked Nigel Warrior there, Sean Schaumburger, Balin can play there. There's lots of guys that could play the star position or money. Bryce has moved in and out, so all of our guys can play multiple spots just based off concepts. So we're creating depth there, which is good, and we also have competition.
David, and then Rick. Jeremy, going into the spring game, which groups or players do you sort of really want to see, or do you have questions about after the first 2 scrimmages that you guys have had so far in the spring?
Do what now?
Going into the spring game, which groups or players are you kind of wanting to see, especially in the spring game, after you want to see them respond after the first 2 scrimmages you guys have had?
I would say everybody. You know, you're only as good as the last time you went out on the field, so we're not good enough to be taking any days off. So you want to see everybody respond the right way and compete and improve.
Coach, it's obviously still early in the game, but through spring drills, what have you seen contributions-wise from your new offensive coaches, Jim Chaney and T. Martin?
Well, I think Jim's a very good teacher. He's very demanding. He's got a really good teaching progression. You know, I've sat in several meetings, you know, when he coaches the coaches, and, you know, the fact that he's not particularly coaching a position, you know, he can walk around to each individual group. You know, and T's a guy that brings a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge to the position. I see our guys developing confidence on the outside. You know, I think our wide receivers, you know, are probably our most experienced group on our team, and it shows by the way they go about their business every day. But I see lots of improvement from that position.
Ryan and Steve.
Jeremy, what's Warren Burrell done well so far this spring? You know, how's he kind of settled in this first semester, and where does he need to go to get himself ready to play this fall?
Well, I think Warren is a guy that has really good ball skills. He's instinctive. He's conscientious. Probably needs to get a little stronger, a little bigger, where he's got more play strength. But he comes from a very good high school program, played on some good football teams, you know, and he's a guy that has been able to get his hands on some balls out there, kind of shows up where the ball's at, but he's got to improve his tackling ability. He's got a chance to help us on special teams. So he just got to continue to work and improve every single day.
Last 2, Steve and Wes.
Going back to T, what made you decide you wanted him on your staff? What was it that you saw about his background or just his coaching ability that made you think he'd be an ideal fit here?
Who?
T.
T? Well, first of all, he won a national championship here. You know, I've recruited against T for a very long time, and He's first class, does it the right way, builds great relationships with the players, the family. You know, I've coached against him, just watching from afar. The offenses that he's been in charge of have been very successful. If you look at the guys that he particularly coaches, the wide receivers that he had at USC, lots of guys who were very productive. They were skilled, but they played with really good technique and played the right way.
Jeremy, how do you, I guess behind Dom there at tight end, how do you feel about the situation there? I mean, you got, a couple of veterans there, a couple of new guys that look like they maybe have some talent. How do you feel about that position overall this spring?
Well, we've got guys that, Dom was here last year. Austin Pope played some. Andrew Craig, got Jackson Lowe. We've worked Jacob Warren in there. So Princeton Fan is working at that position now. So we got guys that have a skill set that fits the position. They don't have a whole lot of experience. The only way you can get the experience is to go out there and practice every single day. And when you talk about a tight end, what you ask him to do, he's got to be able to block a 300-pound guy in the C area and be able to win. He's got to be able to pass pro. He's got to be able to flex out and run routes like a wide receiver. So there's a lot that goes into that skill set. And, some of the guys do certain things better than they do others. Dom's a guy that can kind of do all of it. So we've got to continue to improve at that position.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. We'll have Derek Ainsley and T. Martin tonight after practice. Thank you.